Hey, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. We're starting a new parak today. Sixth parak of Kesubos, Daf Samech Vav, number 66. I want to talk today in Benzion about the first Mishnah here in the parak. The Mishnah starts in Samech Hamad Beis 65b. There's a machlokas in the Mishnah. Well, not really machlokas. The first words of the Mishnah of the parak. Our husband is entitled not just her earnings, her wages, also what she finds. Now, the Gemara, the last two lines of the daf, Tani Takamay de Rav, Mitzias Yishal Atzma, Rabbi Kiel Omer Labaila. So it's actually machlokas. The Mishnah seems to be everyone assumes it goes to her. We had a Mishnah like that before. The Gemara said on Daf Mem Zayin that a woman's mitzvah, whatever she finds, goes to her husband Mishum Eva, because if he's not entitled to her mitzvah, he's going to hate his wife. He's not going to like his wife. And we have a brisa over here that the mitzvah belongs to herself, according to Anakama, which aligns with our Mishnah. But Akiva argues on it. And then the Gemara on Sam Vav and Aleph, based on a different Mishnah in the Darim, the Gemara switches it around. The Gemara says, Epoch, mitzvah Yishal Labaila, that goes to her husband. Akiva Omer La'atzma. So the first interpretation of the brisa was that it belongs to herself, which Tanakam would be disagreeing with our Mishnah. And Rekiva says like a baila. And when we switch it around, Matil Yishal baila goes to her husband, according to Tanakam, which fits with our Mishnah. Rekiva Omer la'atzma. And Rekiva says that it belongs to the woman herself. Now Rekiva's shita is not mentioned in the Mishnah. So it seems that the Machlokes Tanakam and Rabbi Akiva is a different Machlokes than the Mishnah, because the Mishnah didn't record Rabbi Akiva's opinion. It said, according to everybody, seemingly even according to Rabbi Akiva, the mitzvah of a woman belongs to her husband, not to herself. How could Rabbi Akiva say in a different brisa that it belongs to herself? The Gemara eventually says that the mitzvah we're talking about is comparable to hadafa shalo al adchak. I'm sorry, that's comparable to mitzvah to hadafa shalo al adchak. There's two types of hadafa. Hadafa is basically extra earnings. Maisi adayim, how much her normal salary goes to her husband. The Mishnah in Daf Samach Daled says that she has to do the most basic job, is to weave. That's what a woman knows how to do. She knows how to weave, to sew. So a certain amount in Yehuda, a certain amount in Galil, 5 slime, 10 slime. Not a lot of money, but every week or every month, she has to earn a certain amount of money, basic income. That's one of the things listed in the Mishnah in Daf Samach and in Tenem Beis that a woman has to do for her husband, to earn some money to supplement the income. Not a lot, but a little bit. What if she earns extra money? So what is extra money? So most people say extra money, she works overtime. No, but I said what I originally explained in the Gemara, Hadafa meant that she has a better salary. This makes a lot more sense to me, that instead of being a lowly woman who just earns money for weaving, the minimum wage, she's a woman who's, has a great job. She's an accountant, CPA, she's a lawyer, she's a doctor, she earns a lot of money. That's Hadafa, extra money. Chazal were also masakin, Hadafa belongs to the man. According to most Amoraim, it belongs to her because he gives her the makesef. He gives her a certain amount of money to spending money for the week. So he's entitled to hadafa, which really doesn't make so much sense because she could earn, 6 figures as a doctor, as a lawyer. So, it's kind of really unfair. And then the Gemara introduces over here hadafa alidei atchak, which is different. That's called hadafa shlo alidei atchak, right? Because it's not extra work for the woman to be a lawyer or to be an accountant, as opposed to weaving, or those are things. If she knows how to weave, that's all she knows. If she knows how to be a lawyer, she can, that's not necessarily harder work. She works the same hours. So what's considered hadafa alidei atchak? Hadafa alidei atchak presumably means what everyone thought hadafa meant, is that hadafa alidei atchak means she has to push herself. She works overtime. She works 2 jobs, right? She works overtime. She works more hours, extra hours, so she gets paid more for overtime. That's hadafa alidei atchak. So the Gemara eventually says that mitzia is like, the Gemara thought mitzia is like hadafa shelo alidei atchak. It's like earning extra money, right? Which makes sense, because it doesn't require any exertion. Mitzia presumably means, we think, that when you walk down the street, she finds $100 bill, right? She finds $100 bill, so she gets to keep that. The Mishnah says it goes to her husband, So that's like hadafa alidei shelo alidei atchak. She doesn't have exertion. She's a lawyer. It's not any more exertion than sewing or being a weaver. However, the Gemara eventually says, no, that was the havin. Maskana is that mitziasa, whatever she finds, is considered to be a hadafa. It's like a hadafa al yidei adchak, and that's why we have an explanation to find an explanation why Rabbi Akiva would hold that her mitzia, just like hadafa al yidei adchak, would belong to herself, according to Rabbi Akiva, it belongs to herself. Because think about it, if she has to exert herself, she has to work two jobs. That's really coming from her, right? If a man marries a woman and she's a lawyer, okay, so he married her knowing she was a lawyer, she was in law school, so that's her wages. That's what she's going to get. So he sustains her, he gives her food, he nourishes her, he gives her what she needs, and she gives her the salary belongs to him. But she decides she needs to work overtime or extra. That's a new thing she's introducing. So that she should get, according to Rabbi Akiva. According to Tanakh, we hold she doesn't get that. But Rabbi Akiva says she does get that, and that's a mitzvah. So what mitzvah are we talking about? When you find $100 on the street, what exertion is it? It's not like working overtime. So we have to introduce another type of mitzvah. The mitzvah is, I would say, like she's working and she gets a raise or she gets a bonus, right? So that would be like hadafa al yidei adchak, because she worked extra hard. So she's entitled to that raise. She's entitled to that bonus, right? That's like a mitzvah. It's like you're finding extra money. You're getting extra money, but it's not exactly like working overtime, getting paid for the overtime. It's a bonus, a raise, extra, an extra salary. That's what the Gemara is talking about over here. So it comes out that the mitzvah, there's two types of mitzvah. There's mitzvah, which is comparable to hadafa shel yidei adchak, which is like going down the street and finding $100 bill. And there's mitzvah, which is comparable to hadafa shel yidei adchak, getting a raise, a bonus. So on that, Rabbi Akiva argues. Rabbi Akiva argues and says, if she gets a raise or a bonus, or she worked overtime, extra time, Rabbi Akiva says, in that case, so it belongs to her, right? Now, usually we're accustomed to the phrase "mashakana isha kana baila," right? On a doraisa level, the whole teaching of this mishnah is really unnecessary, right? Mitzvah isha labaila. This time the parak starts off. Of course, it belongs to her, to the husband. Whatever she's kona, mashakana isha kana baila. She makes an acquisition of something, it automatically belongs to her husband. So that's talking about things which are on the doraisa level. On the doraisa level, it belongs to her. Our Mishnah and the Gemara, the Machlokes in Rakiva and the Rabbanan, I would say like this. I would say that the Mishnah doesn't even record Rabbi Akiva's opinion. That's talking about she's walking down the street, she finds something. Mashakana ishakana baila. The rice level belongs to the husband. The Machlokes in our Gemara between Rabbi Akiva and the Tanakama, that's brought down in the price in our Gemara, that's talking about a bonus, a raise, extra money that she's getting, or hadaf al yidei adchak, she earned extra money for working overtime or second job. Or the Gemara even talks about she multitasks, so she get extra money for that. Who does that belong to? So Rabbi Akiva has an opinion. We don't hold like Rabbi Akiva, but Rabbi Akiva holds that belongs to her, because that is not exactly mashakana isha kana baila. We're talking about the wages, her wages that she earns. She was never really kona her wages. When you get paid your salary, she's not really kona that salary. I mean, the money never went, it goes into her bank account. She never did a physical acquisition. If she picks up $100 in the streets, that belongs to her. That's what the Mishnah says. That goes automatically to her husband. Our Gemara is talking about where her wages, right, extra wages, a raise or a bonus or things like that, goes into her bank account. She never was kona that. So it goes directly into her bank account. It's kept separate. She could have a separate bank account from her husband. So that's what the Gemara is saying over here, that Rekiva says, since it never was Kana Isha. So that's what the Gemara was talking about, Daf Mem Zayin. They're masakin her Mitzia in place of Ava. He's married to her. He's going to get upset if she has her own bank account and things go into her own bank account. She's never really Kona it. If it goes digital, I don't think there's such a thing as digital acquisitions. Yeah, I don't believe in cryptocurrency. There's no such thing as digital acquisition. You have to physically acquire something. That's what the Gemara says. You have to do a Hagbah, you have to do Mashiach. Those are physical acquisitions. Digital money entering your bank account is not an acquisition, so it can belong to her technically. The husband only has a right to either a banan, like they said, Misaka and Mitziyasa, Keneged Ma'aseh Adeh. That's Machlokes in Akiva and the Rabbanon on when it's Al Yidei Adchak, when she actually exerts herself, right? So they were Masaka. Everyone agrees they're Masaka in a regular Mitziyah, right? Hadafa Shelo Yidei Adchak. A regular mitzvah, extra wages that she earns as a lawyer, that belongs to the husband because it gives her mal kesef. However, things that she has to exert herself for, or she gets a raise or a bonus, that belongs, according to Akiva, belongs to herself, because that's not mashkin isha baila. It's just a machlokas was incorporated in the takana of mitzvah tachas in place of Ava. The husband shouldn't have Ava against her. That's Malchus Rakim on their own. We have in the Pasuk like the Rabbanan anyway that it wasn't included in the that wasn't included in the Takana, and she wouldn't, whether it's the Chak and the Chak, whether she gets a bonus or a raise or works overtime, that would still belong to the husband. But there is an opinion Rakim will argue. They're arguing on the Mitzvah Derabanan. Our Mishnah, I think that the simple explanation, our Mishnah, where everyone agrees, that's talking about Mitzvah Deraisa, where she finds something in the street, and there, Mashakanisha Kanabala, she has a physical acquisition, she picks up $100, so it automatically goes into the husband's possession, Mashakanisha Kanabala. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.